Hello, friends. Hello, hello, hello. Good evening. It's Thursday. That means it's time for the Lit Life series. Yes. So, I'm waiting for my guest tonight, and I am going to ask you to do a favor for me. I need you to share this. Share, share, share. Because tonight I have another phenomenal author to introduce you to. Some of you, it might not be an introduction. It just might be a hello again. But I just want you to make sure that you share because this young woman who's coming on tonight, she is fabulous. And I'm just looking through to see if she's joined yet. I think I will send her an invitation. I'm getting good at this. I guess you say it's been a lot of weeks. I should be good at it by now. Please share. And while you're sharing, make sure, wait a minute, just let me make sure I do this properly. Okay. So now, while you are sharing, I want you to know that Summertime with Lizzie B. Hayes, second edition, is coming soon. Yes, it is. August 23rd. And to celebrate, I'm having a fun event for kids. It's called Kids Night Out, and we're almost a week away. It's next Friday, August 5th. Kids Night Out is going to be just off, like the young kids say, off the chain. Do they still say that? Well, anyway, Kids Night Out is a virtual event for all kids ages 8 to 12, and I'm going to share a sneak peek at the new edition. And kids are going to get a signed copy of my book. They're also going to get some party gifts so that we can, really have a great, oh my goodness, it's saying that she's unable to join. Let me send her another invitation. I don't know what's going on. This computer stuff is, sometimes it's, going, what?
Hello.
Yes, hello, hello. I did it. We're on, we're on.
Oh, how are you doing, KP?
I am wonderful. I'm wonderful. We got hearts going up already.
Oh,
So,
nice.
yes, yes. I was just making sure that everyone shared. Make sure that you share
Oh,
because we want parents to get in on this wonderful conversation that we're going to have tonight.
yes, yes.
Yes. And I was just sharing about my second edition coming out in a few weeks, and my kids' night out is next Friday. So
Hi,
I'm looking
Naomi.
to, hey, okay. Yes, a lot of hearts going up. So
Hi,
tonight,
Fatmata.
tonight, well, first of all, everyone knows that in the Lit Life series, I share wonderful authors with you who write for children and have great messages to share. Tonight's author is another one of my virtual besties. Nonku and I have never met, but her message resonates with me. So I'm just going to have her to just pop on in and introduce yourself.
Yes, definitely. Thank you so, so much for inviting me to your space, honestly. I admire what you do, and I'm so excited to be part of part of this conversation. I'm so happy to be here. I see everybody saying hello, a few
Yes,
friends coming in. I am Nonku. Nonku Gunene Adumete. I was born in Swaziland. I moved to North America when I was 16 years old. I am a mom of two young children. I'm a children's book author. I'm also a health professional. I'm just passionate about really loving yourself. I think for me, I learned that, as a mom, actually, like when I was looking at my children, I wanted to be true to myself, for them to see me 100%. And I think that's when I really started my journey of introspecting and looking at how do I love myself more every day. It's been an amazing journey, and the fact that I can teach that to them at a young age, it's mind-blowing, and I'm just excited. And every step of the way, I enjoy what I'm doing right now. I'm grateful. I am very grateful.
Yes, it's so important to be grateful.
Mm.
It's so important. Um, you have a lot of hearts going up, and someone commented that they love your hair. I do
Oh,
too.
thanks. I love yours too. I was just looking at yours
Well,
saying,
my
oh,
hair, it's time for me to go and get myself fixed up. So I have this wonderful scarf that I
beautiful. You look amazing.
thank you, thank you.
Uh-huh.
So tell us, why did you decide to write for preschool children?
Yes. Honestly, it's a fun age for me right now because I have preschool children. And so most of my books, I really think about my children, like the messages I want them to see, the toys I want them to see. Like just it's really like teaching them, having that experience as I'm a mom, right? Helping them learn these tips, enjoying this because honestly, we all find our way to love ourselves. Some of us does take a long time, right? But imagine if we teach our children as preschoolers to love and know their worth at such a young age, how powerful and impactful that is. And so that's why I write for preschoolers because also they're blank slate, right? They're like really ready to absorb, take it all in. And so imagine that positive messages about themselves, who they are, they're sponging that into their brains at such a young age, right? What a foundation.
That is so true. That is so true because at the time when children are so young, we can infuse in them to love themselves, to have a good outlook about who they are, and to be
Mm,
accepting of other people.
yes.
That's a very important message. I know that you write about inclusion as well.
Yes. Because I want them to see, like, right, like, it's so interesting, right? I grew up in Africa and I was the majority, right? Like, all people make, I remember actually there was one kid who was white and it was very different for her, right? But then it's a different flip growing up here in America, right? For most of the schools that my kids are going into, right? They are the minority, literally, right? And so I want to make sure that I'm writing books that not only include people of color, even though like I want the people of color to be the main characters, I want them to be seen with other children, different races. I love Zinette's book because actually I incorporate a lot of like, children with wearing hijabs, children wearing Sikh, just different cultures, different religions, different diverse children because I want them to see them playing together. And I think that's the whole beauty of diversity, right? It's not just one color, one race. It's all those children working together, seeing their strengths in that process. And so inclusion is a big part of that, right? So I'm all about that.
Yes. Oh my gosh, that is so important to see
Mm,
other people and to accept other people. I
yes.
never like when people say, I don't see color, or I teach my children not to see color. Well, yes, you do see color.
Yes.
So it is important to see color, acknowledge it, and accept it. We
Yes.
need much more of that
Yes.
in our
Yes.
world. We need so much more.
Yes. I mean, I think it's all education too, right? When you think
Hmm.
about it, right? I mean, I think navigating and like the prevalence of diverse books, right? It's getting more and more, even though the numbers are still low, right? But it's getting out there. And so like that is like igniting conversations, right? And somebody who says I don't see color, I think in their mind they're thinking they're just being accepting or inclusive, but actually no, right? It's just a matter of education, like how no, you do see color. We have to
Yes,
see
you do.
color, right?
You
Because
do.
at the end of the day, like the system, everything around me sees color. But I want you to see that, embrace that, appreciate that, and you know, encompass that in your world because it's there. The system, it's all around me, right? Even if you don't see it, the system sees it, right? Like whatever is around me.
That's right.
So there's no way you cannot see it because it impacts a lot of what I see, right? Of how we live our lives. And so, yeah, it's education, I think.
Yes, yeah, you're getting a lot of hand claps
Oh,
and hearts. And Naomi said, "You better see my color."
right?
That's right.
Yes, yes.
Because that is, it's life. This is the world that we're in. We're
Mm-hmm.
diverse. We were all created to be different.
Yeah.
And we have to accept that. We have to
Mm-hmm.
accept each other. We need so much more of that. And books is a good way to get that point across. And as you mentioned, the numbers are still low with children of color being main characters,
Mm-hmm.
but it is improving.
Mm-hmm.
But those of us who are creatives, we have to keep going. We have to keep writing those books,
Yeah.
even when we get tired. Goodness knows.
I know. I said it every day
We
to
have to keep
Naomi. I'm
pushing.
like, I'm exhausted. Like, you gotta keep pushing. Yeah, you gotta keep pushing because
Yes,
the future
because
generation is they depend on us, right?
they
It's
do.
it's
There are
our
children waiting to read our books.
exactly, and for generations to come. Like I always think about this. Like when they have children, my children have children, right? And they're reading these books to their kids and generations to come. Imagine like that what are we doing with this, right? Like it's bigger than we can ever imagine, and it's going to impact generations to come. We're just getting started, but we are creating this mindset, right, of inclusiveness, of diversity, appreciating everybody regardless of. And yeah, it's beautiful. I mean, I think
Yeah,
even when we're not here, we are making an impact, a lasting impact that will always stay. And that's the beauty of
yes,
it. Yeah.
that is. Our books are going to live on.
Yes. Yes.
Wow.
Yes. Yes.
Yes, yes. So tell us, what is Nonku's Corner?
Nonku's corner is Nonku's corner is honestly it started as a book corner, like where I wanted to, as I was healing from my journey, finding myself, really understanding who I am, learning to love myself and appreciate who I am. That's how my journey started. And I realized that I need to create a corner where we feel free, we feel celebrated as we are, regardless of how we look like, right? And so when I started my celebration series, celebrating your skin, loving who you are is the first step. And I wanted to create a space for that. And it's evolving to something more. My website is down right now because I'm realizing how the big part of that, right? I think we know diversity. I think we get it. We have it, we do it, right? It's there. We're different. There's nothing we can do about that. But when it comes to inclusion, right, is another part of that diversity that, you know, it's still there's still a long way for us to get there, right? We're just now trending with dolls like that have people of color, crayons like skin tone crayons just got released like what 2 years ago, 3 years ago, right? So if you really think about inclusion, I think like now we think about even play areas, right? Like they're getting more inclusive for kids with disability, like with different abilities and all those things. So inclusion is like another bigger work that we need to really focus on. So as I am thinking about diversity, like thinking about celebrating who we are, the big part of my mission too is how do we become more inclusive? How do we, and it's like not even, right? It's like a implicit bias. It's an implicit thing that sometimes we don't even think about it, right? I don't even think I'm excluding or I'm segregating, like, but it's just there. So then how do we make it natural in our children? How do we make it normal for them to see color and appreciate it and just be and have it be part of their upbringing and their experience? And that's where I want to go. That's where I'm evolving to be, honestly. And I'm reading a lot. I'm doing a lot of research. I'm learning a lot about that space and educating myself on how do I become more inclusive with my children, right? Because
Yes.
it's true. I can go on KP, but
Yes.
like from an
You,
early age, like kids will recognize the people that look like them, right? They will have more affinity towards that. Like they'll have they'll be more comfortable. And it's natural. It's a natural thing from all of us. So how do we naturally create an environment where they can see differences and it's just part of them? It's included and it's present. And
Yes. You
yeah.
said something real important about children being differently abled. I
Mm-hmm.
really appreciate that, as
Mm-hmm.
opposed to saying that they are disabled, because
Mm-hmm.
that has a negative bias.
It does. Yeah.
It really does. You're getting a lot of comments. One person said, now they are trying to take our books. Yes, that is just like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
This business of banning books for
Yeah.
telling the truth is really, that's a whole nother conversation.
Yes, it is. But I
That
think,
is really,
but we're making waves. I think that the way I see it, right, is we're making waves. And sometimes when waves, it's like going in an ocean and, you're getting yourself, you're stepping into the water. It's comfortable, right? When the feet, the legs, the knees. But then when it starts getting a little higher, like, oh, if you can't swim, let me get out, right? So
yeah.
like it really the exposure, right? We are really
Mhm.
making waves and telling our stories. And I think the more we tell our stories, the more we empower and inspire, right? And promote this, right? And so it can get uncomfortable if you're not used to it. And so to me, I see it as a sign that, you are seeing it, you're getting exposed, there's a difference that's
Yes.
being made. Yeah, you're trying
Hmm.
to bend the books, but you can't bend the stories are there, the
Right.
stories are going to be read. And so it's, yeah, things that we have to deal with, but we're pushing
Yeah.
through.
Yeah. Pushing through, because it's so important for our future, for the
Mhm.
world that we're leaving for our children,
Yes.
to help them. And that means we have to do work on ourselves.
Mm,
We have to work on ourselves and get rid of our biases.
yeah. Yes. Yeah.
So
Tough pill to swallow, but we all have biases and
we
we
do.
have to recognize them and address them. Yeah.
Hmm. So can you tell us, I think you kind of answered this. I just want to make sure,
Yeah.
how do you use your books to promote inclusion and self-esteem and self-love? You've
Hmm.
talked about that.
Yes, I did a little bit. I make sure, like my books, I started actually highlighting some of the characters in my book because I make sure that I include different cultures, like include everybody. Like, right? I mean, sometimes it's impossible to include literally everybody in the book, but I want to make sure that every child feels like they can see themselves in those
That
books.
they're seen.
Yeah, they can see themselves, right? And so it's very important. So I make sure that I always try to include, because also conversation starters, right? When my kids, even when they look at the books and then they see somebody like a sick child, they're like, oh, mom, tell me more about that. And they will
Right.
talk about that, right? And then they see somebody different. Oh, look at that kid. Tell me more about that, right? And then we have conversations, and only that's a natural way of finding ways to be more inclusive in your storytelling and everything. And so I always make sure that honestly, I literally, that's like when I do my illustration QA checks, right? That's one thing
Yeah.
that I want to make sure that I have representation. It might not be in
Mhm.
every page, but when I look at the book as a whole, when I think about the characters, right, I
Right.
can have diverse cultures,
Mhm.
races, people represented because it's important, right?
It is very important.
It's very
And you,
important.
you have a comment here. She said, I like that. You can ban the books, but you cannot ban the stories.
That's correct. Yes.
Yes, yes, indeed. So, can you share a few tips with parents who
Yeah.
are trying their best, but just need some more encouragement or some advice on
Yeah.
how to how to promote their child's self-esteem and how to include, how to make sure that they are including others and to making sure that their child has a good foundation of self-love?
Yeah. Honestly, it's baby steps. I think when I just posted a recent post, right? It's taking small steps and making them bigger. My favorite book, Atomic Habits. I honestly read that book almost every other month, I think, just to refresh
What's
myself,
the name
right?
of it?
Atomic Habits.
Atomic Habits. That's a new one
Yes.
for me.
It's so he talks about how small habits, right, they form those lasting behaviors. And it's a powerful concept, but it's very true. And every time I am evaluating and thinking what I want to work on, right, I think about what small steps I do. One of the biggest steps that I like to do, right, I used to make my bed as a kid, and I stopped as an adult. And then I had to go back to it. I was like, okay, every morning before I start work, I make my bed. Small steps, right? And it starts there, and then I build off on something. So same thing with self-love, honestly. There's a lot of information out there. There's so much you can do. I mean, if I can think about a list of all the things that you can do to like promote self-esteem on your children, it's a whole list, but start small. You can do affirmations, uh, oh my goodness, I just laughed on Black Mom's Relations.
Someone
Her
gave a
name,
comment
I
of
just
follow Black authors.
follow Black
That's a
authors. Yes,
yes.
She Don't Tell. She has a very if She Don't Tell. I think she's the author. Yeah, of She Don't Tell. But she, incorporating different stories. Like, normally we have an affinity to certain books for our children, right? Like, we could go to like the same kind. Go outside of the comfort zone once in a while and grab books that you just wouldn't get them, because honestly that's where we break the zone of of like really starting to teach and breaking outside of our comfort zone. So that's what I would advise: more steps. Affirmations are a very good way to really promote that. With my children, my 3-year-old, she's saying her own affirmations now. Like every morning, we're saying affirmations about different things, right? And I ask them, like, tell me a new one. You come up with one, right? And they're coming up with one, like small activities like that, right? Every day they say those affirmations. We just started a new activity, which I absolutely love, because it's helping me to reflect on our day. So after we read our books, and then we're ready to go to sleep, we're laying down, and I ask them, tell me your joys. What were your joys today? I want them to think about the things that happened today that made them feel good, right? Like so you're already helping them process. They have to think about a day. What did I do today? This person made me happy, right? It's small steps. So like, but they're already telling me every day, this is my joy today. This was my joy. I played with this friend. I went swimming. I did those things, right? Just little things. And it doesn't even take that much time, right? But you're already creating a certain way to think and process of how they fit in into this world. What makes them happy? Like looking in. I think we're so used to like the outside thing, like you look
Rushing.
beautiful, right? Like, but looking in to really start thinking about what really makes me feel good and all of those things. I think it's all those things. Yeah, those would be the
Oh
tips
my
I would share.
gosh.
Yeah.
That is so good. Getting children to be introspective. And that is something that we as adults need to do. Slow down and think about how things are affecting me, how I feel about them.
Yeah.
Someone said the high and low points
Oh, I love
of
that.
what's happening in their life,
I love that.
because
Yes.
you have to, when you take time to think about those things, you're able to process life other than just rushing through day in, day out, day in, day out. It's like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, here's another day. I'm going through the same stuff. No, take
Yes.
time and think about how your day was. And when
Yes.
you have your intentions and your affirmations in the morning,
Yes,
you're
yes.
setting yourself up for success.
Yeah, and somebody said like about being grateful, reasons to be grateful. Yeah, that's a big
Reasons
one,
to be
right?
grateful.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
Yeah, someone mentioned Chris and Frankie the piano. He's one of my guests coming up soon.
Oh,
He said
nice.
he added affirmations to one of his books. So
Nice. Yes.
I know another author friend does that same thing. She has affirmations in her book.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm trying to wave to people and answer questions, and yeah. Yes, yes. So now, can you share with us what's next for you? What books do you have coming out? What
Yes.
products are you working on? What projects are you working on?
Yes, I am working on a lot of things. Those who talk to me daily, they know my mind is always everywhere.
Uh,
But but more recently, I am actually officially launching inclusive puzzles. I just created flow puzzles based on the illustrations from the book with affirmations. And so every puzzle has an affirmation on top, and then it's inclusive with different children, right? And it's so good, right? Because puzzles are very good for brain development, they're very good for child development, memory, so many things, right? It's again like that natural play, right? I don't have to have a conversation about different skin colors. They can actually see different skin colors in the puzzles along with an affirmation. How beautiful is that? So I am launching that soon. I'll be launching my website. That's coming up soon. Actually, I'm already selling them, for different events that I have. So that's one thing. And I'm also working on a book in the celebration series that's coming up. I finally got an illustrator, and I am working on getting things started in them. And it's loaded with affirmations, but really celebrating the comprehensive human being that we are, like the unique individuals that we are. And so that's what's really next for me. I'm always thinking and researching. I've been very intrigued. I'm a researcher by heart, right? Public health professional. So I've been really into research around self-love, inclusion. What can we do? Where do we have the opportunities to make a difference? And so that's what I've been working on right now, honestly, just loading my brain with information, testing it on my children who are really appropriate
yes,
age for those things,
yes,
and creating some products around that. So it's exciting. I am honestly
yes.
grateful for this
I
journey.
love that. I love
Yeah.
that. Puzzles are very good for brain development. They really are.
Mhm.
Just looking through at comments, you have some congratulations and hand
Oh,
claps
thank
for
you.
your upcoming events.
Thank you so
Yes,
much.
your
Thank you. Thank
upcoming
you.
projects. Ah, yes. So I'm looking through. Does anyone have any questions you'd like to ask? I'm just going through. I always like to make sure that, yes, well, you've answered some of these questions already. You've answered them.
Yeah.
But I'm sure someone else may have a question out there. Do you have a question for Miss Naku? Oh, I love the fact that you are really researching and doing your part to bring your dreams to life.
Yeah.
And you are being an excellent role model for your children to see, look, my mother, she has this dream and she has these goals and ambitions, and she's following through on them. And
Mm,
that's setting them up for success of how to approach their life and what they're
mhm.
going to be so that they
Yeah.
don't, yes.
I know. I see Naomi's
Oh,
question.
someone said,
Any
do you
other
have
toy ideas?
any other toy ideas?
Yes,
Naomi would like to know.
I do have a lot of actually coming up in the pipeline. I even thought about creating an activity book actually with all the different
Yeah.
ways we can talk about celebrating our skin. This is all under the celebrating your skin umbrella, right? I have the book, I celebrate my skin, but I want to think about toys around that. So I'm thinking about a couple of STEM toys actually that
Okay.
I'm working on. And I'm still kind of working through the logistics, so I can't share. But I honestly think there's so many things that we can do to create that. Like, if I think about, I just talked about like that, when we talk about how we may, like, there's like that egg activity. I have my son knocking. I don't know if you can hear the door knocking. Like how there's different eggs, and then we talk about how the different colors eggs, but inside they're the same. Just like how do you explore that concept into different toys and kind of
Yes.
help embrace those things? So I've been really thinking and doing a lot of those things. And puzzles are my first step, but I do have a couple of STEM toys that I'm
Okay.
rolling out soon. And then yeah, different things. Honestly, I'm excited.
Okay. Someone asked a question about floor puzzles. Do you
Yes.
know where or can you
Oh, the
recommend a
company.
company?
Yes, I mean I can share. So I did a couple. I did my
Don't be
I know.
sorry.
I did my puzzles. I found the supplier through Alibaba, and I did I have a supplier. Actually, I don't even know their name, honestly. But if you send me a DM, I'm happy to share that information. I have a screenshot, that I share with a few others that have already asked me, and then that's a company name. You can search them on Alibaba. I don't know their name, honestly, but
Okay.
I decided to do it that way because I wanted the quality, to be strong, to be better, but also like
Right.
just to be able to like have something that's also reasonably priced, right? Because so like I different things, that's how I got to my conclusion. But yeah, I have a supply that I use. They're very good. This is my first time around. The quality is amazing. I don't have a puzzle close by, but those who've seen the puzzles, they're very thick. It's really like good quality puzzles, and the box, everything. I mean, it's just beautiful. It's a beautiful puzzle. Yeah.
Yes. Now,
Yeah.
you know what I was going to ask, if you could hold up your book,
Oh,
your
yes.
books.
I do have my books, so that I have. I didn't have the puzzles. But this is my first book. I celebrate my skin. Um,
Yes.
we talk about just like the rainbow, our different skin colors are all beautiful. And so if you think about a rainbow, it's different colors, but it comes together. We love it as its own intended thing, right? Just like our skin color, right? We all have different skin colors, and when we come together, we are beautiful just the way we are.
You
And then
are.
my second book, I celebrate my voice. And this one, we talk about individuality, what it means to use your voice, and the diversity in our voices, right? Some people are singers, some people are artists, some people are different things. But the best thing is to be true to who you are and celebrate that. We come in different shapes, forms, and sizes, and that's okay, right? We all have a purpose just the way we are. And so that's what this book aims to help
I
children
love
see
it.
and understand. And the next book, what's coming soon, it'll be a comprehensive view. It'll be like the last I Celebrate
Okay.
series, and then we'll be switching gears into something different. But I'm excited. And KP, congratulations too. I'm looking forward to your revamped
Thank you.
books and all
Thank
the work
you.
you're doing as well.
I am so excited about this relaunch. I mean, this has been a labor of, like they say, a labor of love. Yes, it has. This is the current book, but this is the one that's going to be a second edition. This is
Nice.
this is his second book in the series. But Summertime with Lizzie B. Hayes, second edition is coming August 23rd, and I wanted to refresh the story because so much is happening in our world, and even though this book is historical fiction, the
Mm,
1960s, many of the things that were happening during Lizzie B's time,
mm,
some of those same things are going on right now.
yeah.
This happens to take place during the summer of the 1967 rebellion or revolution or riot, whatever people wanted to refer to it as, in Newark, New Jersey. And so the characters, and it's a coming of age story, family love, and Lizzie becoming self-aware of herself. But all of what's going on around them, this civil rights era, that
Mm,
just happens to be the setting where they are. And
mm.
it's a chapter book for kids ages 8 to 12. And I'm so excited about my kids' night out coming up next Friday. We're going to party like there's an old Prince song, party like it's 1999. That's an old song. I'm dating myself. We're going to have party. We're going to have music and games, and it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm so excited to have the children just have fun. Uh,
Yeah.
an end of the summer event to just get kids to be excited about reading.
Yeah.
And you can register on my website, kpcarterwrites.com. That's WRITES. And you know what, Nonku? I didn't write down. I know your um Instagram handle, but let me, because your website is under development, how
Mm,
can we reach you? How can we
Amazon.
purchase your books? How can we support you?
Yes. Right now, I'm pushing the books on Amazon, and
Okay.
Target, of course, has copies if you want to order from Target, Barnes and Nobles. Yeah, I'm just pushing books there as well. Actually, I do have an Amazon store. So like
Okay.
the listings on Amazon, actually, some of them are coming directly from me, which my puzzles soon will be available on Amazon through my Amazon store. So I
Okay.
am kind of having Amazon right now be the area. And if you're local in
Okay.
Chicago, of course, a lot of the bookstores, you can get the books there. And you can find me on these events. I do a lot of events this summer. So if you're in
Yeah.
Chicago, come check out those events, that I'll be posting about as well.
Yes. Yes. We're doing a lot of posting. We we are the posting queens.
Oh gosh,
Just
it's a
to
class.
keep up and let folks know
Mhm.
what we're doing, how we're trying to help parents to help their children.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yes.
So,
It takes a village, right?
yes, it does. Yes, it does. I just saw a message pop up.
Mm.
It went and it went away. It was from Dr. Sheila. I don't know where it just popped up on the screen and it went away. But anyway, if we don't have any more questions, I'm looking. People just lots of hearts and
Oh, thank you,
hand
everyone.
claps and congratulations on all that you're doing.
Thank you so
And
much.
do you have any parting words you want to leave with us?
I guess I would say, I think when you think about giving up or when you feel tired, remember that this is not only for you, but for generations to come. So what we're doing as Black authors, it's beyond, it's a mission, it's a purpose, and this is what we need to do for our children. So keep pushing because a lot of kids will appreciate this. So that's the parting words, I think. Just keep pushing. You're
Yes.
doing that. You're on the right track.
Keep pushing. Lots of hearts and 100%. Thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
being with me tonight. This has been a pleasure. And until next time, I wish you love, laughter, and literacy. Good night, everyone.
Good night. Thank you, KP.
You're welcome.